welcome back to the Villa Filler podcast. I'm here once again with my good friend Dan Wiseman. Dan, how you doing, mate?
All good tonight, mate. All good.
Another late night Villa Filler. I mean,
You love
it's
to see
becoming
it,
a
don't you?
habit. Got to get them
I
in
love
for
it.
you guys. Straight off the bat, just like to address the elephant in the room, which is the last video that was posted on the channel. So basically, I think we kind of touched on it in the video, if you've seen it, about Martinez. Obviously, he's not signed yet. The deal is all but done from what we've heard. We've seen his wife spin at the Belfry. If this one falls through, then man, we look stupid. But we have to get these kind of things done in advance. Sometimes these things happen. I was at work the other day and head chef Bruce came in and told me it was a done deal. So I ran to the toilet to make the video public. And here we are. I didn't check Twitter. Obviously, I'd then seen that it was just a Fabrizio Romano announcement, which, to be fair, is as good as a club announcement, I will say. So, putting our necks on the line here. But Emiliano Martinez will sign for Aston Villa. And if he doesn't, then we're just going to be memeing forever, Dan. Had to get that one out of the way straight off the bat. But thank you to all you guys who viewed it. I mean, maybe jumping the gun on these transfers, Dan, will help the channel grow. But no, some really, I think, just really nice comments from Arsenal fans on that video, Dan. I'm not sure if you've seen. So all good signs of the kind of player and man that we're getting, really.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And delighted to have that one hopefully announced in the next couple of days. It shouldn't be too long because so many of the rumours included that he was going to start for us against Sheffield United, and it seems like he's going to be our number one going forward. So yeah, I'm sure that'll be done in the coming days.
Thankfully, now we've got a few things to talk about in this podcast. We were going to do them as separate videos, but just with how things are going, how me and Dan are trying to fit these things into our busy schedules, we're here talking about some more transfers, and we will preview our game against Burton Albion in this podcast. Now, the one transfer, I say transfers, we're going to talk about one really, because this one has picked up a lot of speed and has kind of come out of the middle of nowhere. Obviously, you've all heard now, Bertrand Traore of Olympique Lyonnais, Dan. This is a very exciting transfer again. We're finding ourselves on the podcast coming on, and, I hate to be that positive Villa fan, but I really am that positive Villa fan because the players we've been linked with throughout the whole window. I think, to be fair, we have said when we've been linked with a player, maybe like Obafembi, Goulam, there's a few players where we've been excited, but we've stated that we don't really think that it fits the profile of what we're looking for. I think there's a lot to get excited about Bertrand Traore, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I think he, when you look at, it's just another option, mate. I think that's the easiest way to address this transfer in that, he's a player which can give us both sides on each wing. He's done a little bit as a 10 in his early days as well. He's this really powerful runner, a really aggressive. We've seen, I think, a little bit, Villa fans are a little bit conflicted from what they're seeing from Lyon fans who haven't exactly given him a glowing report in terms of his work ethic or everything like that. But I wouldn't read too much into that personally, because a player's work ethic and everything like that can be so context dependent on where they are, what they're being asked to do, and just overall how well they're enjoying their environment. I think one example I'd relish in it, and I think this rings true in the position that he plays, is Adama, who we saw for us wasn't the hardest worker, only really seemed interested when the ball was at his feet, but the talent was there, which seems to be a similar kind of report. But he's matured, he's grown older, he's moved into a new system and a new role under a new manager at a new club, and he just reinvented as a player. And I'm not just talking in terms of his own product, but his all-round game too. And so I saw one Villa fan tweet that the last signing that we picked up from Lyon didn't end up going on to be too bad, and I think Bing Junkaroo would recognise that himself. Look, it's a great option to have. It's not a bad fee, if we're looking at about £17 million, but €20 million, then it's a pretty risk-free transfer. He's done a little bit in the Premier League as well, which I don't think should be forgotten. Obviously, he had his Chelsea days, and he's been playing for them as far back as 2014. And as you mentioned, just before we we came on air, mate, another Vitesse player, like we were talking about with Rashika the other day.
Yeah, and obviously that video won't be out just yet, but
Of
you know,
course.
because we're still
We're
waiting
not
on
going to do
the
that.
transfer to be. No, so we're not going to jump the gun on the Rashitska one. You can bet your bottom dollar. But it's I think as well as you say, it's so context dependent, and you've got to trust that Dino's been looking at the players, Langer's been looking at the players, how they fit in the system, and when you're assembling a squad, especially when you know there's certain financial restraints. I don't want to liken it to Moneyball because that's that's the easy comparison to make. That's the Brentford comparison, but it's about looking. You've got to look in certain areas. First of all, what we're lacking and what can improve us. And as we've mentioned, I think every podcast ever, Dan, that we've ever done, we've lacked pace, and every Villa fan knows that. So that's the elephant in the room that needs addressing. First of all, Traore is lightning quick, so he's solved one problem there. Second of all, in his career, he's got about just over 40 goals, which isn't really bad in, let's say, near 200 appearances. You know, for Chelsea, Vitesse, Ajax, Lyon, it's not bad going really, considering he's a winger. Obviously, you know, there's much more that you've got to go off, but instantly when you're a quick player, when you're a winger, you're going to have double the amount of chances because you can get into the space, you can stretch defenders, you can make things happen at the drop of a hat. And I think that's what's really important when we're scouting these kind of players. And you know, we're not going to be scouting the likes of Salah and Mane to come, you know, run the wings at Villa Park. We're operating in a different market, albeit still a very decent market. You know, Traore is there's clearly a player in there. He's been a product of the Chelsea system, which they don't really pick up bad players, even the ones that don't necessarily make it. I mean, you've just got to take a look at Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah, players like that, Lukaku as well, have all gone on to have fantastic careers away from the club that they came up through. And I guess, you know, that's something to go off. But as well, I think looking, and again, we spoke about this on another podcast, but with how Brentford are hardballing us, I think Palace are linked with a £20 million move for Benrahma, which is great. But if we're in for it, that's at least another 5 million added onto that, just because it's us, and they know how badly we want him. And you know, if there's competition, obviously that increases the price naturally anyway. And you know, fair play, Brentford are in a position where they can afford to do that. But you know, we're finding value somewhere else. I think Traore really does fit in the system. He scores a variety of goals as well. Just very quick, there was a great goal that I saw on a compilation on Twitter as well the other day, where he sits the keeper down twice, goes onto the right, goes onto the left, ends up scoring. And it's just that kind of, I want a Villa player to have that kind of swagger and just something about them that, you know, they can do that. They can just put a keeper on their arse. You really want to see that, Dan.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And there's a lot of things to like about the transfer. You know, he's just 25 years old. He's played in the Europa League final with Ajax when they got us the final against Manchester United in the 16-17 season. He's been involved in the AFCON. You know, it looks like we're going to have yet another African nation bearing the flag of Aston Villa. Burkina Faso are going to absolutely love this one, hopefully, which is great to see, because what a national export he's going to be for them. The only other thing to note is that in his contract, Chelsea get a 15% sell-on fee.
You can't escape these, Dan.
No, you can't. They're everywhere. And Chelsea also get first refusal on him. And so I can't imagine Chelsea are going to be poaching him from underneath us. But, you know, the fee, when you consider that 15% of it is going to be going to Chelsea, then, you know, Lyon are going to want to try and remake that. They signed him for about 10 million. So, you know, it's almost doubled in value. You know, his league record for goals is good. 21 goals in 84 games for Lyon, which, as a winger, when you're playing with, you know, he's played with the likes of Memphis Depay, Mariano Diaz, and some really good players. It's not too bad at all. And so, yeah, mate, this one that if we can come in and fit him into the system, and I mean, you're taking him over Trez and El Ghazi, so all things considered, pretty good deal.
Absolutely. And, the last player that we signed from a French team as well that didn't really have great reports, Jordan Ayew, very good player now. The signs were obviously there
Yeah,
when he
no,
played for us.
absolutely.
I think fans are always quick to judge, and there may be some underlying, racial bias towards Traore as well, dare I say it, with France. So you never know. All we can do is support the player when he joins the club, and
Absolutely.
hope the best for him. That's going to be it for the transfer section. Now, obviously, we are going to play Burton Albion on Wednesday. So when you're listening to this, it's probably tomorrow, or maybe even the day of that you'll be listening to this. Last time we played Burton Albion in the Cup, Dan, it was this exact round. We didn't make it past. Albert Adoma missed a penalty. Actually, Steve Bruce didn't cover himself in much glory that night. Coming into the game, Dan, I think obviously because we don't start our season until next Monday, this is a really good game to hit the ground running. We've had a really good preseason, as we spoke about off air and on the podcasts as well. In terms of analysis, there's not going to be too much because, no disrespect, it's Burton Albion. If you want more of an in-depth preview on, from a Burton perspective, we will link our article for our across the dugout view that Dom has sorted out with Brewers TV. But it's a really good game just to get us underway, really, Dan. Really, a competitive fixture. With that means something as well. Obviously, a very good cup run last year. Hopefully, we can emulate that success again this year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a good place to get it underway because Burton Albion's rise to the championship and stuff, and it's an amazing feat that I don't think it gets spoken about enough. The fact that they played at that level and competed, for a good few seasons. It seems to have come to an end, unfortunately, and I think they finished 13th in League One last season, which is still a very respectable finish. They were more than safe and quite a fierce team. They finished just above Ipswich, I think, which has been a great feat for them. But no, they lost on the opening day to Fleetwood. And a very bizarre incident. I don't know if you actually saw this, mate. Our very own Chris Cooper was reporting on this one. Absolutely. They played Fleetwood and the game was suspended because there were fans outside throwing apples onto the pitch. And wow. The best thing is, I did some digging into this. Thought, fans often do that, protest against the owners or the manager or whatever's going on. There's no reason. No reason.
Apples. There you go.
Thought, which made me laugh. Hopefully we have no such problems this time. But no, it's a game where I think we'll see Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
Which is good purely because we're going to need to score to win the game. And, you can't really rely on many of our other strikers to do that, to be honest with you. So I do think we'll see Ali. I mean, it makes sense to try and, get him as ingrained into this Villa team as you can before the start of the season. It won't be exactly a first strength team with us going into action a week today as we record. It's Monday Night Football, isn't it? Our game. So, I can't imagine we're going to take too many risks and set the starting lineup. But I think, Matty Cash, potentially you can expect to see. And yeah, mate, hopefully it'll be an interesting blend of a Villa team, giving a few key players a rest. Hopefully we'll see a few familiar faces as well. And we just get a chance to suss out these new signings.
Yeah, and as well, I think the news came out today, not been confirmed by the club. So again, we're jumping the gun on this one, but Keenan Davis has been offered a 3-year contract. I'd really like to see Keenan Van Nistelrooy play. And, we love the Carabao Cup on this channel, Dan. Do you know what? Last night, I was going through the channel, as I do, just, kind of doing the general channel maintenance. And I came across our video from when we went to Brighton, which we actually spoke about this Burton fixture in it. So we will link that in the card, wherever that is. And that'll be in the description as well. Because it's not got as many views. So hopefully you guys who are new can come see what we're about. We like when me and Dan can actually see each other, which, to be fair, we're going to have to sort something out soon, Dan.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's the kind of stuff that we want to create, that we're going to look at create going forward as well. A bit of a mix with an informative video / vlog. Was a great day, great 500-mile journey with you and Els, Dan. But it was all worth it in the end. Especially, it was vindicated because we made the final. Like I remember we were saying in the video when we were walking back to the car, you said we were going to win the cup. And we came very close.
We always did. Mate, I just want to stress as well, put on the podcast, this wasn't just a drive from Birmingham. We came from Manny, didn't we? We were over in Manchester at uni, and we drove all the way for it down there. So I doubt many Villa fans drove further than we did for that game on that day. If there are any listening that did drive further than the ridiculous, I think it was like 7 or 8 hours from Manchester. And if you're listening, please let us know in the comments and I'll congratulate you on that. But I'd like to think we were the fans that gave the most to be there for this sleepy Tuesday night game at Brighton. But what a game it was. It's a shame we couldn't be. It's like 40 minutes, isn't it, from here, Burton? So it's a shame we couldn't be off to the Pirelli because, as I was saying, it does have a little bit of a pre-season feel to it. Just because obviously we do normally play Burton in pre-season, and the fact that it comes before we've kicked off in the Prem, which a lot of Prem teams don't have the luxury of having. So it's a nice game to sort of ease us into the season, and you really want to win it, hopefully by a few goals, to really put ourselves in good stead. And if Ollie does play, I'd back him to score against this kind of opposition. And yeah, mate, I think we'll get a good chance to suss out, hopefully, Matty Cash as well. It'd be interesting to see what we do with the sort of 3 right backs we have now at the club, and where all they fit in and who's on the bench, who misses out, because I think that will give us a good gauge as to who we're going to use throughout the season. But no, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, as you said, Dean Smith has been giving it the whole, we have a great history in this competition, we always look to do well in it, and all that sort of stuff, which is the usual ahead of a cup run. But yeah, if the players are up for it, Dean seems up for it. Burton will be as well. They have their first home game of the season at the weekend. So they'll want to put in a good performance. And yeah, mate, hopefully we're speaking about this before our Sheffield United preview. Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we're a club that, Dean, like everyone likes to say, but great tradition, great club. We like to win these kind of competitions. I would absolutely take, 17th place with a trophy. So we came so close last season. I mean, I was saying to my dad when we were watching All or Nothing Spurs the other day, that it's a shame that some of the bigger teams don't necessarily take the competition as seriously. I've got a lot of time for City playing a really strong side in every competition. I rate that Pep wants to win everything, but he couldn't have made it easy for us. Going into lockdown, we had to watch us lose the final, and then get thrashed 4-0 against Leicester. Now, obviously, had no bearing of the result against Leicester, but the last time we were all in stadiums together was the Carabao Cup final, which is just crazy to think, mate. It seems so long ago, and I think, to be honest, we are still a fair way from getting back to that feeling. But hopefully Villa can start the season off right with a win at the Pirelli and see us advance in the Carabao Cup. Dan, I think that's a good note to end the podcast on. Any final words from yourself, mate?
No, just thanks if you're watching. Michael Bublé, really? This was a lookalike claim that we got. I'm going to look like a blonde Michael Bublé, which I'm going to thank, man, because all the middle-aged moms out there love the boobs. And yeah, man, I'm happy to say that one.
Absolutely.
You got Andy Townsend, didn't you? Andy Townsend.
Take that.
Olaf Melberg is pretty regular with me. That's just because I'm blonde.
First year uni, Dan. Olaf Melberg.
Yeah, that is with the beard. With the beard. Yeah, there was definitely more of an Olaf Melberg back then. But no, as always, guys, thanks for showing so much love, mate. It's been just again, I can't stress how good it is for me and you. Because you guys that are new to the pod could just scroll back a little bit, even to the pods we were doing towards the back end of lockdown. And the views have just exploded since that final day. And, it's so great that we're making more content for more people and so more people engage and enjoy with it. And yeah, if we can keep growing at the rate we are, mate, it's a real dream for you and I. And yeah, I just want to, from my end at least, shout everyone out that's new to the pod, that's old to the pod. And if anyone's been here the whole time, then you're a real one, man.
Absolutely. I always notice a few comments from people who have stuck with us for a while. So yeah, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate the new guys. Glad that the Premier League predictions one went down well as well, because I think a large part of the channel's success, and just being honest here before we end this podcast for you guys, is people are interested in transfer rumours. It happens most summers. We tend to get a fair few views and then they drop off. So hopefully we can keep you guys engaged. I didn't think that the Premier League preview show would get that many views, but it's done really well. So yeah, really thank you guys, and we're going to be here holding your hand all throughout the way through the season as that goes on, and hopefully on a cup run as well, as we've been talking about on this podcast. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, hit the like button and comment your thoughts below. Let us know if there's any more footballing lookalikes. I'm looking a bit red here just because of the light, so maybe check an old podcast if you need a reference from me. But we need to see if we can improve on Michael Bublé for Dan, and subscribe for more, guys. I think we're nearly at 2,400 subscribers now, which is again mental. I feel like me and Dan are kind of hopping on here every 2 or 3 days, checking in, having a chat, doing the podcast, and it feels like we're getting so much closer to these milestones each and every day. And yeah, for all you new guys, we will be doing a shirt giveaway. I think maybe nearer the end of the season. We'll have to see where we're at in terms of Christmas time, in terms of subscriber goals and stuff like that. And yeah, me and Dan will sort that out for you guys. Absolutely, because it's some tough times with COVID, not being able to support the club. So help to give you something back to you guys, I guess. Really, got to do our bit. We didn't give away the Samatta shirt because we didn't reach the last milestone that we set in time.
Who wants one?
Yeah, screw Samagal. No one cares. No one cares. So yeah, thank you guys. Watkins, yeah. Do you know what? I think that gets some interest down. So there you go. We'll keep you guys updated with a goal for that, so as you can stay in tune. So yeah, like if you enjoyed, comment your thoughts below on the tie, on Traore, on Michael Bublé and the channel, and subscribe for more. Up the Villa.
Just as essential to fulfilling this got potential. It's the main man, a hero. He's the main leader of the gang. Chester. He's the main leader of the gang now. Chester.